So hey, I got circles. So once your sword is in motion, centrifugal force is keeping it pointing out there at a right angle to the center of the circle. But when you start from a stop position and you start moving your hand in a circular motion, watch what happens to the sword. Okay? So in the beginning, at all crucial beginning, watch what happens. The tip drags behind like that, and then once you get moving, it starts to move out there and get out on the end of the circle. And it's really only when it's tracing out there on the end of the circle that all this stuff remains true about pulling back against the weight, the small motion, making the big motion. All that stuff is true once the tip is out there at the edge of the circle. But while it's here, not so much yet. And there's some other things we got to think about. So that all crucial first blow, we got to deal with the fact that it drags along here before it's out there on the circle. All right. So there are two good ways that you can deal with that. One is triggering. Remember, circle of the hand. That's this thing, loose hand, time the object in motion. Once it's in motion, you can loosen the hand again. So if I'm throwing from here, and I want this out on the end of the circle during my motion, I can trigger the hand right at the beginning. And that puts the blade into motion, and it puts it out on the end of the circle right away. So all those motions, those dynamics of being in the circle apply very early on. That's useful if you're like here and you're fanning a shot around to here. You can tighten the hand so that immediately all your body motion is spitting that weight out on the end of the circle. So you trigger the hand first and then turn the body. Another way to deal with it, though, is to exaggerate that drag and take advantage of it. Thorin is a master of that, in that he'll do the circle of the body, but he'll leave the tip behind. He'll keep it dragging inside of that circle until the very end, until he's rotated past the line of defense, and then he'll trigger the hand a little bit and let that tip ride out. So he's kind of conserving that tip momentum until the end, and then he's taking advantage right at the end of the shot, or more often at an angle or something that sets it in. So he's building all the circle of the body, maybe a little circle of the shoulder, but he's holding that tip back, not letting it extend out on the circle until it's at the right time, and then he's triggering the hand and sending that tip out. We sometimes let it kind of insert inside the box that's available instead of trying to come through the defense. Okay, let's see. So one of the things that you can emphasize on first blows that relates to this, and honestly, when we think of a whirly gig, there's a tendency to kind of go, just kind of blank the brain to that awkwardness at the very beginning where you get it moving and then you're, oh, I'm all happy, now I'm swinging it. This is the part I understand. But that very beginning, it has something to tell us too. In that what happens is you drag your hand in a single direction for a while. You're not circling yet, you just drag it in a direction, and that gets all the way to the string, lined up with the direction of motion, and then you get your circle going and swinging around. So it's kind of like, there we go. Little landing strip. In fact, I wonder if I can do this without hurting myself. Let's start doing it on the ground so you can kind of see it. So we're here, we're dragging along, now we're going. Right? That's kind of what happens in reality when we start something like this. Drag it up, now we're going in a circle. So it's the same with the sword blows. And then you can start with dragging the pommel forward to get everything in motion a little bit, and then you're in your circle. There's this little drag. And if you're starting from back here, that little drag is forward towards your target, and then you fire it out. If you're starting from here, that little drag is backwards. You're actually dragging your pommel back towards you, and then throwing a shot. So there's a little drag, and then you return that ellipse really. It's not quite a circle, it's more of an ellipse. Returning sort of the shot to target.
So do you think that's why it's so easy to transition into the circle from those set thrust positions you were talking about? Because every one of them really has that ability to come out of that drag relatively quickly. Whereas rather than I'm dragging the sword through, if I'm here, I'm starting the motion that starts in the circle. Is that?
Yeah,
I think you said coming from the guards.
Well, yeah, the guard is kind of, it's natural to just kind of put your hand forward and then fling out.
I mean, this is the obvious one, right? But if you're here, that's going to come over without the drag, right? You're going to turn the circle.
It's more like if you arrive at one point, fighting the entire mass of this weapon is being accelerated around the circle of the wrist. If I'm really strong, I may be able to do that. But I can cheat. I can reduce the weight and mass of this weapon by swapping the hand around the point of balance. Now, if I swap it around the center of balance on this weapon, I will have cheated almost all of the weight of the weapon away, at which point I would probably not be hitting hard enough. That's a complete swap. Probably not enough power with a complete swap. But I can do a partial swap, like here, and retain about half the weight of the weapon while reducing some of it, allowing me to get more speed, which will translate into a harder hit, even though I've reduced the effective mass of the weapon. And that allows me to get that speed. I'm cheating away some of the mass of the weapon. So we're swapping around the center of balance. Now, here with the thrust, something very interesting can happen. So if you're thrusting here, you can turn this thrust into an upward cut for the leg by swapping around the center of balance. So watch what happens here. Here's the thrust. Watch the center of balance. Here comes the thrust. The center of balance stops. The hand continues to move forward to the blow. So the hand goes boom, but the sword stops and then rotates and hits. So, thrust, rotates around the center of balance. Double hit.
Classic transition.
Yeah. All right, let's see. We already covered some of this. I want to throw this in here just so we don't forget about it. A lot of us have probably seen this before already. Talking about a way of keeping fluidity with repeating an offside shot. It's behind the head pendulum. A way to get to this is, well, first of all, the blow you want to throw is this. Here's what you're going to hit. We're talking about a flat plane, horizontal plane. We're getting about 3/4 of a circle from the ready position to hitting the target, which is plenty to get enough power there. Mostly circle the hand and wrist, get a little bit of body and shoulder in there as well. But we're starting from here. So to fluidly get from here to here and then back to here as quick as we can, one of the best ways to do it is to pull it back to here, relax everything, and allow the weight of the weapon to pendulum itself up into this ready position. So here's where we're going to start, here's where we're going to hit. When you get back to there, pull the hand back and relax, and it'll swing your tip right back up to there. And that can flip like that. All right. What else do we have here? I think down in the fiddly bits. Talk about that. Okay, we were talking about the advantages of long point being out here. Once your opponent has figured out that one of the places we like to be is right here because you can throw all kinds of blows from here, you start needing an excuse to get out there. You can't just, I want to hit the legs. One of the ways that you can cover that, though, is weak setup blows. Just throw it with circle the hand mostly, pop it out there, and then go where you really want it to go. Usually it was enough like a blow to keep their attention and give an excuse for your blade to be out in that position. You can throw blows that linger on the point of contact, so it's a real blow, but instead of immediately moving on to the next blow, I just relax when it hits the shield. Just let it hang there on the shield. Now you're all relaxed, neutral. You can throw anywhere.